Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that are supporting me over on Patreon with a subscription, thank you so very much. If you're interested in getting a subscription over on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com, choose Engelgeist or search Engelgeist, and then choose a subscription level, and you get the daily forecast a day early. There's also other readings that are available over there. They're only available on that channel on the Patreon page. So depending on which level of subscription you choose. So you can check that out. If you have any questions, you can direct them to my Facebook business page. Please give it a like over there too. You can also direct personal reading or private reading questions there also. And let's get into the forecast. So today, Mercury has gone direct, which thank God for that. And today, this is the forecast for Thursday, the 5th of November. Now, this is not necessarily only set for that date. It is also a timeless reading in the sense that I always intend for the message to be for the greater collective, for the highest good. Therefore, I think that those messages can apply whenever we see them. So trusting that Spirit has got your back, if you're seeing this on a date that's not November 5th, that's completely fine. Watch the video and see if there's any message in here that can be utilized in your life. If it offers you inspiration or validation, great, take it and use it. If it doesn't make any sense or it doesn't resonate, don't worry. That just means that you might be working on something different at this time. There's nothing wrong or bad or anything to worry about. If you do make any decisions in your personal life after having watched this video, please know that that is your responsibility. Those decisions are up to you and completely yours. And so keeping that in mind, always trust sort of your own intuition above any and all else. What I say or anyone else, quite frankly. That's the whole point of this channel, is to hopefully help people to find that within themselves. All right, so let's see what's going on with Thursday the 5th. Technically, we're this date would be sort of that cusp between that midweek energy and end of the week energy. Some of you might be leaning more towards one side or the other. It doesn't really matter. There's no side that you need to be leaning to, but you're somewhere in between possibly that star energy, right? That beautiful Aquarian star energy, moving towards that judgment energy, which would be Scorpio at the end of the week, which would be sort of like Friday, Saturday. So if some of you are feeling that in either direction, please go right ahead with it. Let's see what's going on. You need to know. Oh my God. Okay, so we are getting all major arcana this week. It's wild to me. Now, the first thing that I see about this card, this is Sagittarian energy, this is Temperance, right? Again, major arcana. First thing that this triggers in me is if we go back to Sunday's reading, and I want to say Monday's reading, we had, was it Sunday? No, I'm sorry, it was Sunday's reading. We had the Lovers that we kicked off with, which had that black and white cat. And then we had, what was I going to say? In the Judgment card, there was a black cat and also a white cat in the background. To me, I don't know why, but this white cat is now in the foreground. This is the white cat that's in the Lovers card. And I know this is going to sound kooky or crazy to you guys, but what I'm seeing here is the idea of Temperance is about finding balance, doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, keeping one foot on the ground, one foot in the water kind of thing. Having touch base with both the material sort of world and the emotional world and how we feel about all of that, and keeping that balance, keeping an even keel. And right now, let's just say, I'm gonna just say that it's been a little bit of a hot button time, especially politically. So I understand sort of where the bigger picture of this card is coming from. To me personally, I kind of think that it's about all of us remaining balanced, keeping sort of our growth around us, remembering what I like about how she's included in the art here is these fish are still moving forward, right? Even if we don't feel like we're necessarily getting what we want, or we might be sort of challenged in some way, this idea of Temperance is all about sort of expansion, keeping sort of an even keel, being open to the possibilities, not like sort of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And what I love about this white cat is it feels like the white cat is like stepping forward today, right? We have that judgment energy coming on Friday and Saturday, right? Which has that black cat in the forefront. So today, and this is so weird, I am like white cat, black cat, white cat, black cat, but today I feel like this is a call out for us to be in our whiter, more pure selves. And I don't mean that like whiter, like, you know, that sounds so like wrong, but what I mean is like our, you know, if, all right, let's use this analogy. If we have a devil or an angel on each shoulder, everybody does, right? We have those different voices that we listen to. Today we want to listen to the voice of that angel, right? That would be sort of the you know, more still, quiet, peaceful, contented voice, right? Also, I will say this, this temperance energy will keep us in that star energy a little bit more, I think, for those of you that might be transitioning over into the energy of that judgment card in Scorpio. Temperance helps to keep balance through all of that. We've come through a lot of journeys. We've worked really hard. We've worked for our sort of enlightenment and our awareness. Let's utilize it to the best of our ability, right? Let's allow whatever like challenges we've dealt with in the past, all of those sort of things to sort of buffer, temper, and you know, how do I want to say this? Not educate us, but teach us sort of how to remain sort of calm, civil, kind. All of those things would be really important, not only to others, but to ourselves too. You know, I love these like fish that are jumping in the front. To me, it feels like things will continue on if we keep things sort of balanced, right? There's still forward movement, even maybe some of us are feeling like there's not. We did see that justice card twice in a row. So to me, it's sort of like if there's something that's going on, something that's come to light that we don't necessarily like, whatever that may be for us, or you know, that somebody around us doesn't like, we want to keep this balance of temperance around us, right? Not getting too wrapped up in the drama that might be going on around us right now. All right, let's see what the Empathic Oracle has to say. It's so crazy that we've gotten all our majors this week so far. Okay. Containers, number 42, which would be a number 6. 6 is usually about balance, but what this makes me think of is it instantly, when I flip this over, is I think about the labels we put on each other. And then when I think about this sort of balance that's in temperance, I'm going to keep this focused on ourselves as best I can, but I kind of feel like this containers feels like the individual. Like when I look at all of those little squares in there, I think about the sort of containers that we put, the labels that we put on each other, the sort of slings and arrows or mud that we sling at each other, you know, assuming things about each other or calling each other names, or, you know, and that phrase of like, it walks, you don't know a person until you've walked a mile in their shoes is coming up in my mind right now. Keeping that in mind, you know, where do we label not only others, but ourselves, where we limit ourselves and our ability to maybe create or to have what we want or to be at peace, right? Are there labels that we have for not only, you know, ourselves, but others, where we limit the ability to have true and honest relationships with people? Are there containers or concepts, beliefs that we, you know, place whole swaths of society or ourselves in? And I feel like temperance is speaking to us about kind of not slipping into that today, right? Remaining in balance, that's the number 6 in the containers card. But I feel like remaining in balance and you know, trying to look at things from all sides as best we can. I feel that everybody sort of, with this containers card, I feel like each one of these squares represents a person. And we all have goals, and some of our goals, like, I don't know why, but the teal color is really popping out to me in this card. Some of our goals match up and some don't, you know? Then we have all of the reds, right? And so to me, it's kind of like, neither is right or wrong ultimately when you look at it. It's just a different perspective. And when we keep this sort of temperance going, or this idea of balance. You know, this cat is walking this sort of balance beam in a way. But he knows what he wants. He's got his attention on exactly what he wants. He's staying centered. He's spiritually connected with the lotuses here. He has this light of sort of knowing around him. He's been through a lot. That would be the mountain in the background. He can utilize that mountain or whatever path he's been on thus far to kind of help to keep him balanced today. And that balance, like I said, will keep him in the peace of that star card and the knowing and the quiet of that star before this, you know, justice. Is it justice? No, it's judgment that's coming. And I don't think that the judgment card is necessarily a bad thing. It just is going to be something that is going to be a bit like, oh, okay, there's the truth of the matter, right? This is what we have to deal with. And again, that darker cat was at the forefront of, the black cat was at the forefront of that card. So there might be parts of us, you know, in the days to come that are harder to quiet. So right now, the opportunity to quiet may do us some good, if that makes sense. All right, let's switch to the grounding stone. I hope this makes sense, guys. So here is the grounding stone. Something to ground in today is laugh. If we can find humor, it's always a good thing. Humor to me is like psychic grease, right? When you're in laughter, when you're in enjoyment, when you're having a good time, it's going to sort of shake any negativity right off of you without any effort, right? And that's a beautiful thing. We want to allow that to happen. And so when we can find things to laugh about, it will also bring about this temperance or this balance in who we are and what we know to be true. We don't necessarily have to get caught up into the restrictions or the labels or anything that we see sort of like in this containers card. It'll be interesting to see what containers represents when I read it to you, because to me it makes me feel like everybody sort of, you know, kind of all on top of each other trying to get their goals across or get their stuff situated, and they're not necessarily seeing it from a greater collective space. They're seeing it more from a, you know, me versus them or us versus them, or you know, placing labels on ourselves and others. And when we do that, do we limit, you know, not only others, but our perception of others and what they can, you know, produce or bring to any sort of collaborations or anything with us, right? And I think if we remain temperate and stay sort of more balanced, we have less of a tendency to want to do that. To me, when I look at this containers card, it feels rather restrictive in a weird way. Like they all feel like they're banging up against one another. Remember, the underpinning grounding stone of all of this is the passion card, right? So sometimes if our passions drive us towards labeling others in ways that we shouldn't, or that are inappropriate, or that are not based in knowledge, they're just based in our own desire or need, we have to be aware that maybe we're not necessarily looking at things very clearly. We're just looking at it from a one-sided view. So that would be also part of that passion too, is like not only seeking your passion and joy and seeking laughter today, right? But where is it that, you know, maybe your passions have required you to limit yourself or limit others in ways that you didn't really realize? All right, so let me read these to you. So let's see what old Temperance is up to. Temperance is a great card. So this is, the cat's name is Coco. The symbolism: fish moving out of chaotic situation into one that is harmonious. The lotus flowers are divine inspiration and guidance. The water is intuition, connecting with your inner strength. The mountain path is overcoming an obstacle, seeing a clear solution. The dark light sky is creating harmony, seeing the value in differences. The starburst is feeling optimistic and in control. And the balance beam is finding balance in the middle. I love it. Message: when you lean into the energy of temperance during a time of difficulty, you will discover within you is the ability to appreciate the feelings and positions of each side. It is in the middle ground that your stress levels will decrease, your vibration your vibration will rise. Remember, and that's sort of that energy of the star, guys. It is time to ease friction by allowing space for opposing ideas to have their time. When temperance appears, you are asked to not look at the differences that keep you apart, but rather the areas of agreement that can bring you together. Through compromise, you will find balance. Could your current situation use a mediator? Are you willing to compromise a little so all parties get something they desire? The energy attributes are positive, in control of emotions, capable of seeing both sides of a situation, open to understanding and meeting in the middle, brings others together harmoniously, searches for areas of agreement. The negative is giving in only to appease others, negotiating away power, swinging to an extreme position, feeling unhealthy, or a lack of vitality. So we don't want any of those things. I think that the key here is to really stay in a place of, just that balance kind of thing. So let's see what Containers has to say. As safe as a box may seem, it's an experience that can also be of emptiness. As in the past, we crave a knowing of where we begin and where we end energetically. This need for energetic boundaries can become a blessing or a curse according to the emotional context that brought these boundaries into being. Healthy boundaries allow the flow of energetic information to pass through the auric field, giving an opportunity to access the moment and make healthy choices. Boundaries realized from fear and hurt become dark castles limiting our experience on the other side of the emotional moat. Are my beliefs about boundaries healthy, or do they create boxes that I stuff aspects of myself into, limiting parts of my experience? Can I let go of labels and the duality of good or bad in order to let the full experience become available? So again, that's where I'm saying, like, where do we limit ourselves or label things in such a way that we see ourselves as separate? Because when we look at all of these boxes too, the interesting thing is even though they all look like they're banging up against one another, they are all still similar. Like, even though their colors may be different and their boxes may be different, they're all here on the card trying to sort of achieve sort of their own goals, right? So in some ways they are interconnected, just sort of like human life, right? We're all here on the planet trying to live our best life. And so, but yet we see each other as separate when we're all really part of the great macrocosm of life. And so I think that that's some of where these labels, we might want to look at how we label not only others, but ourselves too. And where do we sort of fit in that? And are we in harmony? Because if you look at these boxes, they could be in harmony, but they can also be in sort of in a clusterfuck, for lack of a better word. So that is your forecast for the day. I hope that makes sense. Please find opportunities today to laugh and enjoy, remain in balance and spiritual enlightenment, in that peace of the star, and know that everything will be all right. We are moving forward. That's definitely those fish, not all hope is lost kind of thing, okay? I hope that makes sense, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing where this goes tomorrow. Thank you everybody for subscribing. For those of you that are new, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and leave me a comment if you like. I will see you guys tomorrow with a new forecast, and we'll see how this energy continues to build. I feel like these messages are really, really on point. Or is that just me? Maybe it is. I don't know. All right, have a great day, you guys, and I will talk to you. Remember to laugh. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.